Hey guys, welcome back to another episode in the kitchen. This week we're between Christmas and New Year's, so I usually do one of my specialties, which is soups during the week between Christmas and New Year's. Sometimes I'll do a cold cannon soup or a Hoppin' John soup, which is kind of like a black bean soup over rice. I'll do like a baked potato soup, but this year I decided to do something a little different. We're doing a Tex-Mex Pinto soup. So I have all the recipes or all the ingredients over here ready to go. So the pot is warming up and we'll get ready in just a moment. So we'll be right back. So to start off, I already have a pound of bacon chopped up over here. We're going to go ahead and crisp it in our French oven. And we'll put the bacon off the side after it gets done crisping, because we'll keep the rendered fat here, and we'll put the bacon back in the soup as a garnish later on. So let me go ahead and put this in the pot. I'm already starting to make a mess. And what I'll usually do is take a wooden spoon. That's usually your best bet for soups. Plus you don't want to mess up your cast iron. So we'll go ahead and give that a good stir for right now and get that spread out. And we'll get these to cook down and render out. And once they start crisping up, we'll be back then. And go ahead and take them out and put them on the side once they crispen. So we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, while you're waiting for your bacon to cook, you want to go ahead and throw together your seasoning. I have a tablespoon of ground cumin, a teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and a teaspoon of chipotle chili powder. You can also use ancho chili powder or just regular chili powder, but the chipotle and the ancho actually give a good flavor. So we'll set this off aside and we'll get it in just a few moments. Also, while we're waiting, the rest of the ingredients, you want 4 cans of pinto beans. You can soak about a pound if you want to, but 4 cans is the easiest way to go, and it makes the recipe a lot shorter. A can of fire roasted tomatoes, 2 white onions chopped fine, 4 cloves of garlic minced, some fresh cilantro chopped, of course your seasoning, which we just went over. You're probably going to use about a tablespoon of lime juice and about 5 cups of chicken stock or chicken broth, whichever way you want to go. So we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, bacon is done. I've skimmed off excess oil, or the bacon grease. I have it saved off the side for later on in recipes. Bacon set off to the side, draining. So, taking the 2 onions, go ahead and throw them in. Give them a good stir and let them sit for a little while until they start to go translucent. Now the onions are about done. I'll give them about another minute here. Go ahead and just let them sweat. They start soaking up that bacon at the bottom there. You can go ahead and scrape a little bit of that browning off. It's good to get it on the onions. That'll add the flavor to the soup. Don't worry about getting it all, because when you put the chicken stock in later on, it kind of deglazes it all. So we're at the point now you can go ahead and add the garlic. It's pretty fragrant already. And we'll go ahead and add the seasoning. And give that a good stir in. Let it cook for about a minute before you start adding the rest of the stuff. Right now I have it at about 2 out of 10 on the setting, which is about a little bit below a medium low. You'll want to go ahead and start bringing it up to about 5, which is about medium. Let it come up to temperature. Once you hear the onions start to sizzle again, we will start with the chicken stock. Like I said, you want to do 5 cups, 1 box, and about an extra cup. We'll start off with 1 box for now. If the soup starts to get too thick, I'll add some more chicken broth or chicken stock. If it gets too thin, I can just remove the lid later on and let it evaporate out. There we go. Get all the stuff off the sides into the broth. Give it a good stir. There we go. And then we'll go ahead and start adding the beans and the tomato. Don't drain the beans. You leave the juices in there. Add them to the soup. This will add the starch to the soup to thicken it up once it starts to get ready. Again, 4 cans of pinto beans. We'll give that a good stir, mix them in. And then we'll do the can of tomatoes. Make sure it's the fire roasted tomatoes that gives it the good smoked flavor. So we will leave this alone, let it come to a boil, and then we'll drop the temperature and let it sit for a while until the beans start breaking down. Give it a good stir here. So you raise the heat until it becomes to a boil, and then we lower the heat and allow the soup to simmer for about 20 minutes, stirring occasionally. Add more broth if it reduces too much, and then we'll let it sit for about an hour covered. So let me let this come to a boil and we will return. So the soup is allowed to come to a boil. Letting it calm down for about 20 minutes or so, and like I said, I'll put the lid on it and put it on low, about the lowest setting possible, and let it just simmer for about an hour or so. And when we come back, if you notice, I have the potato masher on the side. They do say to use an immersion mixer or to put it in a blender in batches and blend it up and then add it back to the soup until desired thickness. I just usually do this and mash it in a little bit just to break up some of the beans. You don't want to break all of them up and have refried beans, literally. Sorry. And so we'll be back in about an hour or so, and we'll do the mashing. I'm sorry, I'm running out of breath. So we'll see you in about an hour. All right, so about an hour has gone by, and went ahead and took the lid off. It's still on low at the moment. Go ahead and give it a good stir. Break everything up off the bottom. And as you see, beans are still kind of whole. They're about soft. They're not ready to break down quite yet, but we'll go ahead and hold them out. Just give them a good squish. And what I'm going to do is let it continue to simmer on low, and we'll give it about another half hour or so. Not quite ready yet, so we'll be back in about an hour. Alright, about an hour has gone by. The beans have kind of broken down a little bit. So I raise the temperature to let it come to a boil to starch up a little bit. So it is pretty much right now to the thickness and doneness that I wanted it at. So, first off, I should have grabbed this before I started the camera. We don't have to thicken it anymore. So I went ahead and turned the temperature off. I'm gonna let it sit and cool down for a little bit, but while it's cooling down, I'll go ahead and throw about a half a handful of cilantro in there, fresh cilantro, and about a tablespoon and a half of lime juice. And then we'll go ahead and give that a good stir. Let that sit and cool down for a little while. I'd say about 15 minutes or so. And we'll go ahead and throw the bacon in there now that we're not crushing the beans anymore. And it'll keep me from snacking on the bacon. Give that a good stir. Alright, so 15 minutes from now I'll come back and make a bowl, take some pictures, and sit down to enjoy it. Toppings, you can put cheese on it, shredded cheddar on it. You can put queso blanca on it. Eat it with flour tortilla shells. Steam those up a little bit as a side. Use them to dip in there. Garnish with fresh cilantro. You can use avocado slices on top of it if you want to, or sour cream. Pretty much set it up like any type of Mexican sides that you want. So, if y'all enjoyed what you saw, please leave me a thumbs up and to help me get the video out there. And leave comments if you could, please. And until next time, have a great week and a great weekend. Christmas already went by, so we'll go ahead and say a belated Merry Christmas to everybody, or happy holidays to those who do not celebrate, and a happy new year coming up. We'll see you next time, and bon appetit.